Leave people alone. Leave them alone.
Mostly prominent, like shout out because we're dominant. Yahweh's strength is greatly marketed. The beginning, because he started it. Scriptures written, with 2 ears to listen. Women, men, and children, here is the prescription. Our way of life is not a religion. Hebrew Israelites, the secret treasures hidden. We were chosen and given a mission. They could read the Torah, but not with his wisdom. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. Gotta praise God. Praise God. Represent. We gotta represent. We have the strength. We also
Leave him
represent.
alone.
Seeking God. Always seeking God. Seeking God. Always seeking God. God is great. He is our Elohim. We have the strength. We also represent. Pray for your spirit. Keep trusting God. I guarantee He heals it. Remember where He brought you. Never forget.
All praise to Yah. When we get on Jezebel tried to stop me by pacifying me. I can't elaborate on it, but the day of sadness, Father's Day has just went through. It's a day of sadness. We know Father's Day to be a day of sadness all throughout our community. Father's Day. All right. Well, we got a bunch of mothers who claim they're not masculine, but want to claim they're the father, or they played the role of a father, but they're nowhere near masculine. How does that work? How can you be a mother and a father, but the masculine is gone from you? If you claim to be the father, which you are, very masculine women. But we just make sure to pray that these people who are alienating children from their father be dealt with by the Almighty. Just like David prayed against his enemies. Because Elijah's supposed to come back to bring the fathers back to the children. Let me go to Proverbs 11. What does it say? A false balance is an abomination to Yah, but a just weight is his delight. And when we talk about wicked women have a false balance. That's why not only are these women an abomination, but they create abominations. They create niggas that want to be a man. We in the LMNOP month, right? They create a man that wants to be with another man. That false balance is an abomination, though. So we're going to be fighting against Jezebel. All right. We know that Jezebel is not a whore because she was the queen of Israel. She wasn't a hoe. Jezebel was a queen who thought she was the king. We're going to go in on Jezebel a little bit. And I'm going to start off in 2 Kings 9 and 30. What does it say? Now, when Jehu was coming to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it. She painted her face and tied her hair and looked out the window. Let's see another translation for this. Let's see. We got the King James. Let's see. Let's see English Standard here to see what this one's talking about. Oh. Okay, Jehu went to Jezreel. When Jezebel heard it, she put on eye makeup and arranged her hair. Then she looked down through the window. When Jehu came to the gate, she said, "Do you come in peace, Zimri, the killer of your master?" He looked up to the window and said, "Who is with me? Who?" 2 or 3 eunuchs looked down to him. Then he said, "Throw her down." So they threw her down, and her blood splattered on the wall and on the horses, and they trampled her. So I don't know why she wanted to put on makeup at that point in time. In fact, I'm gonna go to Isaiah 3. I mean, I claim I know everything because people, they enhance themselves, but her putting on makeup and let's go to Isaiah 3:12. What does it say? As for my people, children oppress them, and women rule over them. My people, your guides are leading you astray. They are confusing you about the way you should go. So women rule over us. I'm gonna go in on Jezebel momentarily. But one thing about Jezebel, when he came through, she made sure to put that paint on. She changed herself up. Seems like a sort of deception. But let's read, and I'm gonna keep reading. In verse 16, it said, Yahweh also said this, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and they walk with their heads held high. And we can talk about haughtiness, because having pride and displaying pride, dealing with pride, let's continue. And they walk with their heads held high. Aren't you supposed to? These women, flirting with their eyes, walking seductively with quick little steps, with ornaments jingling on their ankles. Yah will crown the heads of the daughter of Zion with scabs. Do we know any women that the Almighty did that to? And will make their scalps bald. Will he do that to the daughters of Zion, to these black women? Did he do that to them? In that day, Yahweh will take away the beautiful anklets, the headbands, the crescent ornaments, the earrings, the bracelets, the veils, the headdresses, the ankle chain, the sashes, perfume bottle, the magic charms, the signet rings, the nose rings, the elegant dresses, the capes, the shawls, the purses, the hand mirrors, the fine linen wraps, and the gowns. This is what we'll place instead of fragrant perfumes. They will be stench. Instead of styled hair, baldness. Instead of a robe, a garment made of sackcloth. And they will be against, they'll be branding instead of beauty. But I'm going to go in on Jezebel so I can get up out of there. So when we talk about an evil woman, I want to go to 1 Kings. And I want to strike at Jezebel for the one time. Because none of these people are going to do it. They may touch on her a little bit, but they're scared. But let's deal with Jezebel in 1 Kings 16. Now, in 1 Kings 16, start at verse 30. Ahab, son of Omri, committed more evil in the sight of Yahweh than all those who had gone before him. He considered it a trivial thing to walk in the sins of Jeroboam of Nebat. He married Jezebel, daughter of Ethanbal, king of the Sidonians. He served the deity and bowed to him. He erected an altar to the deity in the house of the deity, which he built in Samaria. Ahab made an Ashtaroth pole and did even more to provoke Yah, the Elohim of Israel, and all the kings of Israel who had gone before him. Now, I don't like the fact that it said this because he was talking about a grove, but this right here says the actual deity's name that they worship in the grove. This is what, but let me go to the King James version so you know what I'm talking about. This is what we all familiar with. And this is what it says in the King James version. Ahab, son of Omri, committed more evil in the sight of Yah than all those that were gone before him. He considered it a trivial thing to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat. He married Jezebel, right? So we know King Ahaz married Jezebel. Jezebel was not a hoe. Nobody was fucking the king's wife. Okay? He served the deity and bowed down to him. He erected an altar to the deity in the house of the deity, which is built in Samaria. Now, he also made a pole. Wait, no. I just need to click this. I go to King James Version and I don't even click it. What does it say? Long story short. So he reared up an altar for his deity, but Ahab made a grove. Now, who did he make a grove for? He made a grove for Jezebel. We want to be clear what Jezebel does this time. This is what I will be displaying today. What Jezebel does. Now, King Ahaz arranged a grove, which has that one deity that starts with a Ashtaroth or whatever her name is. I ain't gonna say it right because we don't say the names of false deities. But he made this grove for Jezebel, right? Now, how do I know that? Because it don't say that right here. It just say he made a grove, right? We go to 1 Kings 18. I'm gonna show you. Now we get going in on Jezebel. Remember, he made a grove. 1 Kings 18. What does it say in verse 19? Now therefore send and gather me all Israel to Mount Carmel, and the prophets of the deity 450, and the prophets of the groves 400 would sit at Jezebel's table, right? So they got the prophets of King Ahaz, who was worshiping Baal, and it was the prophets of the grove that sat at Jezebel's table that was worshiping that other deity, the Ash deity. So we see the grove is where Jezebel had her prophets. Now let me show you something about Jezebel, because not only is she a woman that wants to be a man, but what do they do at these groves? If I go to 1 Kings 15, and I go up verse 11. Asa did that which is right in the sight of Yah, as did David his father. And he took away the homosexual out of the land and removed all the idols that his father had made. And also Micaiah, his mother, even her, he removed from being queen because she had made an idol in a grove, right? Same one. Now, what she do with the idol in the grove? And Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook to Kidron, right? So he took away the homosexuals, the sodomites, Sodom and Gomorrah. Because he took away the woman worship. These men wanted to be women. Jezebel worshiped that woman deity, that woman that controlled deity. Last week we were showing how Jezebel did decrees in the king's name with the king's senate using the king authority. They don't have one for a queen because that's not her rank. That's not what she's supposed to do. We see last week when Elijah killed the prophets, Ahaz, softy, King Ahaz is so soft, he told his wife Jezebel, and his wife Jezebel come out there threatening Elijah like the man, while Ahaz takes the back seat. That's what we have when we have a Jezebel. But right here, we know the same grove produces sodomites, produces homosexuals. It's woman worship. But we're not going to say no happy Father's Day. It's not a happy Father's Day. You need to cancel Father's Day. It should not even be on there. And they say, oh, you must be emotional. He must be in this, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're men. So women are going, like I said, we're in a world where we as men kill ourselves. What? How many times more? But we got these women who talk about we're in our feelings and emotions. Don't even understand how men think. I say, oh, he must be hurt. Someone hurt him. And he is acting off of his feelings and his emotions. And that's why he's acting that way. Don't have no understanding and don't care to have understanding. Scorn. But we're going to cancel Father's Day. It's a day of sadness. And we're going to have these masculine women claiming themselves a father on Father's Day or doing a father's job. In fact, I got one thing I wanted to go through before I get off of here.
Privilege is being able to steal a man's sperm and then sue him for child support.
Okay, so they can steal his sperm like they try to do Drake when he put the hot sauce in and then still get child support. This is what I'm talking about. When you talk about wicked women, the first scripture I brought up is a false balance. A false balance is an abomination to the Almighty. Well, these women are an abomination to the Almighty. They love this false balance. You know what I'm saying? They talk about they want equality, but they know they're on top. And they're abusing. They're abusing it. Let's continue, though.
Privilege is being able to rape a man or an underage boy and then sue him for child support.
Okay, fuck an underage boy and still get get child support. I mean, we can see that with Chief Keef. He was 16, fucking 30-year-old, and she gonna get child. She trying to get she got $5,000 a month, but he ain't paying it. Let's continue.
Privilege is having the right to abort a fetus or give a child up for adoption in complete disregard for the wishes of the father.
Oh yeah, because the father don't matter, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's really a false balance to act like they don't know, but the fact is they don't give a fuck about us. So it is what it is. They don't have to know they hate men. Really, truth be told, it's kind of scary. That's why Elijah's supposed to come back to bring the fathers to the children, because most of you hate fathers. Oh, we don't hate the man. We don't hate them. Okay. Let's continue.
Privilege is being able to declare a man to be the father of your child without any proof and having it be his legal responsibility to prove that he isn't the father.
Okay, child support. You can just mention somebody being the father and they can go try to steal his money, all types of stuff. And you, that man who she lied on, has to prove he's not the father. And then even so, he can't even come back. Paternity fraud, there's no penalty for paternity fraud. Paternity fraud happens all the time. A woman committed paternity fraud and saying this is that man's seed when it's not. Let's continue.
Privilege is being able to sue a sperm donor for child support.
Suing a sperm donor, I mean, that's going too far. Let's continue.
Privilege is having the power to opt out of parenthood. Privilege is actually having reproductive rights.
Yeah, the opt out of parenthood, saying I don't want to, because they damn sure kill all them kids. But yeah, but they said opt out of parenthood. We can't. We deadbeats. I mean, I wanted my baby, but whatever.
Privilege is having people assume you're an innocent victim in cases of domestic violence, even though half of all domestic violence is reciprocated, and women account for 70% of non.
I don't know. He's talking too fast, but yeah, let's continue.
Reciprocated domestic violence perpetrators. Privilege is having access to.
I mean, yeah, I did have because I never put my hand. I don't think they can. I ain't never put my hands on no one. I ain't no one gonna try to do that for me. So let me continue.
Abuse shelters even when you yourself are an abuser and your victim is denied access because of his gender. Privilege is not having people assume you did something to deserve it if you are a victim of domestic violence.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, let's continue.
Privilege is not being laughed at if you are a victim of domestic violence.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, somebody won't whoop my ass, they probably laugh at me.
Privilege is not being laughed at if you are a victim of rape.
Dang. Okay, listen.
Privilege is being 1/3 as likely to be a victim of homicide. Privilege is being 1/4 as likely to end up homeless.
Dang. It said 1/4 is likely. It said 76%. Dang.
Privilege is being 1/4 as likely to be a victim of suicide.
Yeah, we do kill ourselves way more than women, but that's because they hate us. You feel me? It's not even, you know what I'm saying? Let's continue. They hate fathers for real, man. Let's continue.
Privilege is being 1/5 as likely to be a victim of a hate crime if you are homosexual. Privilege is being...
Hey, you know, that is something, my man, but that's on them, but that is wrong.
1/11 is likely to die doing your job. Privilege is having the health issues that affect you get disproportionately more public funding. Privilege is having it be illegal for your genitals to be mutilated when you're a baby. Privilege is paying less income tax. Privilege is paying less for car insurance. Privilege is not being forced to sign an agreement saying you will go to war and get maimed or killed if the government
Oh yeah, they ain't got to go work. Oh, the Army Selective Services, okay.
tells you to, just so you can get a driver's license or to qualify for federal aid. Privilege is not being considered disposable or being expected to be willing to sacrifice yourself for the sake of somebody else just because of their gender. Privilege is having it be socially unacceptable.
Yeah. No, that was crazy. But I mean, I like, you know what I'm saying? I like being a protector, though. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was me. And it's one, you know what I'm saying? The dog came up. So I'm like, you go, girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's manly stuff, though. But it is.
For your partner to hit you, even if you hit him. Privilege is not being banned from certain places on college campuses just because...
Yeah, you can't hit them back. That is privilege. Like, and people know you really can hit them back, but it's just like, why even go there? Like, you know what I mean?
Some special snowflake feels triggered by your presence. Privilege is not having to worry about being declared guilty by the court of public opinion at the mere accusation of rape, even in the face of a complete absence of evidence.
Yeah, you automatically. I mean, it is what it. Nobody give a fuck about us. Let's continue.
Privilege is not being shamed for asking for or accepting help of any kind. Privilege is not having your kids get taken from you in a biased family court.
Oh, that's a good one. Privilege is not to have your kids taken from you, but guess what, man? And that's why I'm on. That's one reason I'm on here. Oh, he's bitter. It is what it is. People act like it's not biased, and that when somebody oppresses someone, they're just supposed to just, you know what I mean? Okay. Let's continue though.
Privilege is being less likely to die from child maltreatment. Privilege is being less likely to be a victim of infanticide. Privilege is being more likely to get adopted. Privilege is having it be socially unacceptable for others to fat shame you, while you freely shame men for being short or bald. Privilege is having access to scholarships exclusive to your gender, despite the fact that your gender is already overrepresented on campuses. Privilege is being able to make a false rape accusation at little personal risk to yourself, even if it's proven that you lied. Privilege is not having your natural behavior be pathologized in school, resulting in you getting put on behavior-altering drugs. Privilege is getting more lenient sentences for equivalent crimes.
He is going in.
Privilege is living 5 years longer on average. Privilege is having lower standards to live up to. Privilege is having society sympathize with you and not see you as a deadbeat or a loser if you are unable to support your family.
And that's so crazy, bruh. They talk all this shit, though. All types of programs for them. And they the worst motherfucking parents, man. Hands down. Nobody's more petty. They would not have that many, like, mothers away if the fathers had right. Like they always did throughout all the history. Like, all the history, fathers be having, had the children. It was only in this society, this demonic society, that the fathers don't have the children. What place in this world that has a God that's not godless, like everywhere where the Queen of England runs? Let's continue though. Like this.
Privilege is being entitled to sympathy and having your feelings coddled instead of being told to woman up or to take it like a woman. Privilege is not having your employment rate be in steady decline for the past 6 decades. Privilege is being less likely to get laid off during a recession. Privilege is having people actually care when you are a victim of discrimination. Privilege is not having...
Yeah, somebody actually care. And like I said before, that's why only my boys come through. They know we the only people that actually give a fuck about what's going on. They don't give a fuck about our young boys either. you know, and even, you know, the people that's hating, like some of them claim to be righteous and they better than me and they judging and shit like that. But when it says to help the fatherless child, that means to help us that's trying to get to our children. And these evil folks rather ridicule, talk shit, and hate than really help the fatherless child get an actual father. They don't care what we going through. Let's continue though.
Having people assume you're a pedophile if you're a teacher, daycare worker, or pediatrician.
And you know, I don't know if nobody ever assumed I'm a pedophile. I've been teaching all these years. I mean, I guess they do it. They probably will assume that, but and it's messed up too. You know what I'm saying? But I think they assume that with everybody. I ain't get that as a teacher. Not really. Ain't nobody. I never thought about that.
Privilege is not being expected to pay for anything when you go on a date. Privilege is being less likely.
Expected not to pay for any. Yeah, that's old school, man. None of these motherfuckers, they hate their grandma, the way their grandma acted. You see these women dogging it, they was dumb. Them women were slaves at the house and had no money. You know, they come up with all types of bullshit.
To suffer from Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, ADHD, and schizophrenia. Privilege is not having doctors lie to you about requiring spousal consent for you to get certain medical procedures. Privilege is being less likely to be.
Now, why would a doctor tell you need your wife's consent to get to stop having kids? Man, this shit run deep. Let's continue though.
Reproductive coercion. Privilege is having every little inequality face to be assumed to be caused by discrimination, even when all evidence proves that it isn't, and then having said inequality overcompensated for by policies which give you unfair advantages. Privilege is not having attempts to address the issues being faced by your gender be met with open hostility from universities, politicians, and government entities, and well-funded organizations, which ironically claim to fight for equality. So that's 50 female privilege.
Yeah, and it's messed up, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Most of y'all know what you're talking about, but it's all good though, man. Give all praises to Yahweh, man. I just want to be on here for a little bit anyway. Just want to be on here anyway. You know what I mean? All praises to the Almighty. Let me go to my favorite scripture before I get out of here. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him glory in this, that he understand and know of me, that I am Yah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness. In the earth, these things I delight, saith Yah." So I always read this one to stress the fact that I don't know anything. The only thing I'm glorying about, because I'm nobody, is the fact that I know the Almighty's judgment. And I know what the Almighty revealed to me about what a Jezebel was. So that's what my glory is, in the Almighty's wisdom. Go all praises to Yahweh.
See what it will bring. Fear Yah. Everything. Yahweh loves converts the soul. I guarantee it is everything. To know Yahweh.
Leave people alone.
Leave
them alone.
mostly prominent. Like shine our light, because we're dominant. Yahweh's strength is greatly marketed. The beginning, because he started. Scriptures written, with 2 ears to listen. Women, men, and children, here is the prescription. Our way of life is not a religion. Hebrew Israelites, the secret treasures hidden. We were chosen and given a mission. They could read the Torah, but not with his wisdom. Praise God. Gotta praise God. Praise God. Gotta praise God. Praise God. Represent. We gotta represent. We have the strength. We also
Leave
represent.
him alone.
Seeking God. Always seeking God. Seeking God. Always seeking God. God is faith. He is our Elohim. We have the strength. We also represent. Pray for restore your spirit. Keep trusting God. I guarantee He